The Colorado Buffaloes lose their two superstars, Shador Sanders and Heisman Trophy winner Travis Hunter. Dion had huge questions in the past month of will he coach again. Many accounts on Twitter posted that he will retire soon in a press conference. He came into that press conference and said that essentially he had a procedure. I forgot what it was, but he'd removed cancer from his body, and that he was good with that problem, and he was going to coach this season. And so screw you to all those Twitter accounts that were making that a big claim and just rage baiting and whatever.
Engagement farmers.
Yeah, engagement farming. Their first big question is replacing Shador Sanders. They bring in Kadon Salter from Liberty. Boo, as Jack would say.
Terrible school.
Flipped a huge recruit in Julian Lewis, a 5-star, who reclassified to be a year younger and now joins the Colorado Buffaloes, and he has potential to start this season. Receiver room has lost a lot of the household names, but one to look out for is Draylon Miller this year. Offensive line, they have one of the better offensive tackles in college football in Jordan Seaton, and he expects to be good this year. Defensively, Jaheim Otis, he was banged up and didn't play much last year, but he's expected to be kind of a star on that defensive front. And then I'll point out two more defenders as well. DJ McKinney, who last year had 62 combined tackles, 44 of them were solo. He had 3 picks and 1 forced fumble. And then Preston Hodge is someone to look out for me. He didn't start last year because he was cornerback 4, but he played in the slot, and he played 9 games. And in those 9 games, he had 2 picks and 7 pass deflections. I expect him to be kind of one of their premier corners in a group that has lost Travis Hunter playing corner for them. So look out for Preston Hodge. The question for them this season is how much does this offense look without Travis or Shador? They were abysmal from a running perspective throughout Shador's career at Colorado, but especially last year. Their leading rusher last year, Sanders, under 400 rushing yards.
I'm going to take the under.
Under at 384. Isaiah Augustave had 384 rushing yards, and then they had 3 other running backs who had 200 or less. That's going to be a huge thing for them. Can they run the ball? Because running the ball, I think, is a large part and the reason why Shador got 8 alive throughout his career at Colorado, because they didn't run the ball well, meaning they were passing a ton, and that meant the pass rushers really got to Shador, and he got hit a bunch. And that, I think, is something you don't want for Kadon Salter if he is your starter, and we expect him to be. But also for Julian Lewis, they want him to be a star. They want him to be just as big as Shador was there at Colorado. Julian wants that as well. That's why he chose to go play with Deion Sanders.
I mean, Jack made the point that Julian went to Big 12 Media Days with Salter, which is, I mean, I think most teams only take like 4 guys to Media Days. So to be a freshman and to be selected for that is definitely something they're trying to push, is to get him into the spotlight as early as much as possible.
And if he doesn't start a game this season, it may even be better for him to develop that way and to potentially even redshirt. But he wants to be a star of this program, and they want him to be a star of this program as well. It's huge to land that recruit. And for Deion's success and his future at Colorado, he is going to be a huge part of that story. Shador and Travis carried him a little bit through these first 2 years at Colorado, and especially last year, getting them in the Big 12 championship conversation. In fact, just 2 games outside of it. 1 game outside of it. But they need Juju to be good in the future, and they'll need Kadon Salter to be good this year. I would rather talk about their team this year, though. What do we expect? They're still going to be in the national media. They're going to be on TV a ton. They have a big game to open the season, hosting Georgia Tech and the Yellow Jackets and Haynes King, Aggie legend.
Facts.
On a Friday night game as well. So they're going to be in primetime spots like that throughout the season. What do we expect from the Buffaloes in their first year without the 2 studs?
Yeah. It's going to look a ton different. I'm very interested to see how the offense looks, because not only do you lose Shedeur and Travis, and like guys like Jimmy Horn and stuff too, I think their losses being a little underrated because of how good Shedeur and Travis were for them. But you bring in Caden Salter, who I expect to start. I know there's Juju Lewis buzz, but I think at least to start the season, Caden Salter is going to start. He's a completely different quarterback than Shedeur. Shedeur was kind of your in-the-pocket guy, poised, accurate. Caden Salter's your improviser. Get outside the quarterback. He'll run a lot. I think he had like 7 rushing touchdowns or something last year.
7.
Yeah.
He's not a pocket passer. He'll do some play action, but yeah, he's best improvising outside the pocket. So are they going to change all the offense for him and let him kind of play that style? Because also for a running game that wasn't very good, that's one way to help it is get your quarterback to run, right?
I'll be very surprised if they don't.
They're going to have to if they start him. If not, you go Juju.
The way it feels like Dion is going to coach is he's going to coach to his players and not to his scheme.
Yeah.
And while he's only had Shedeur Sanders in his collegiate coaching career, I expect that to be the case going forward with whatever quarterbacks he has is coach to the player. Because ultimately, and I've listened to a lot of Dion interviews, that is what he wants to be. He doesn't necessarily care about winning a ton of games.
He's a players guy.
He wants to develop players. He wants to make grown men out of young boys, which is something he'll say a lot. And I think because of that, he'll cater to whatever kind of talent he has on that Buffalo roster.
I agree. I'm just not positive that drastic of a shift with the offensive line issues and stuff too is really going to yield great results. So with that in mind, they were a game outside the conference championship last year. I don't really expect them to be quite that good this year. Probably hovering right around 500, maybe a game above, game below is where I'm at.
Well, could you want to give me 5 seconds guess? What is their over under?
6.5.
5.5.
Shit.
Yeah, it's low.
I'll take the over because it's Dion. And I do think there's some talent here and there on the roster, even if it's not complete. So yeah, I said right around 500. They could win 6 games.
Georgia Tech is a tough game. They've got Delaware. Houston could be tough. Wait, I can't even remember now if Houston's good or not.
Houston's not very good.
Thank you. I've been looking.
Now they're not
looking at
viewing.
too many
They don't
teams
expect
today.
Colorado to be that good either.
Correct.
But
Wyoming, Arizona, West Virginia. I think I'm gonna take the under. It's a lot of new teams, or not a lot. A lot of new things going on for this team. New quarterback, potentially new system. Right? It's not just the whole. Now everyone who's left over from last year's team they have to change the way they play for a new system potentially to cater to Caden Salter, which makes the most sense. You don't want Salter playing in a system he's not comfortable with, but now everyone else they're gonna have to change everything. I'm gonna take the under.
I would put a lot of money on the under. Actually, I think I'm curious what the odds on that are, but I would guess
Minus 120.
Okay, I wouldn't. Those odds are terrible. But I would bet.
I'm sorry,
under.
that's over. The under is minus 102.
Ooh, then I would put 3 times the amount of money I would on minus 120. I think those are good odds for under 5.5. It really gets dicey down the stretch trying to pick a game for them to win. Post the first bye week at Utah, hosting Arizona, at West Virginia, hosting Arizona State, and then at Kansas State. Pick your win there. I don't. Maybe they win hosting Arizona.
Maybe they win on the road against West Virginia.
Maybe they win, against West Virginia.
Is West Virginia
Morgantown.
last in the preseason?
No,
14th. 14th out of 16th. Okay.
Yes, but
they're down there.
They are down there.
Yeah, I would put money on the under personally. I think, and a large part of that is I think the Shedeur loss is devastating, absolutely massive.
He was there. I mean, yeah, he did it all last year for him.